Great. Good morning, everyone. No, it's an early rise, but even earlier for me because I came all the way from Brazil this actually last night. But while I came from so far away, my roots are actually from here in Poland. So I am from both Polish parents. I'm very excited actually to be here today with you to share parts of my story from where I come from. I never actually lived here. So my background is in the business and policy world. And I've worked from the World Economic Forum with the Fortune 500 companies. I worked with Time Magazine. I worked with TV stations. But I found my space within the social world, and specifically within the social gastronomy world. We'll explain later what that means. I basically feel that I could really contribute in this space because my passion lies at this crossroad between policy making, business, and the civil society, the grassroots activism that we can really accelerate with all the other sectors. So the potential that I saw a few years ago when I joined my partner, Chef David Hertz, who started GASTROMOTIVA, is that I could really make a difference, that I could transform the industry. And that's what I tried doing, but it always sounds easier. Here come I with my business savviness, and I know how to manage, and I'm now going to change this NGO. After a few hurdles and challenges of going from restructuring, bringing in processes, implementing simple things like Salesforce or SharePoint to share the documents, to simple management and personal development tools. We now are in 4 countries with our organization. We are running a global movement that, again, I'll share a little bit afterward. And we're starting bit by bit to enter the technology world as well. So you might wonder, actually, what is an NGO leader doing here on stage today? And trust me, I wondered as well at some point. But now I am convinced that there is actually an opportunity. So what has been happening over many years, over the last 10 years to be specific, is that there's been a wave in the NGO world. The first wave that I was part of were business people that were looking for a purpose. Business people that wanted to go beyond the office, beyond making money. And these business leaders then joined different NGOs around the world and shifted. Just like I managed to shift certain ways of doing within GASTROMOTIVA, these business people shifted within other NGOs. So the whole industry of non-for-profit organizations, social organizations changed, giving it more efficiency, access to new dollars, because I think it's very important. If you speak a business language, you can actually open up funds that were never available for this area. So this is what led us to what I call NGOs 2.0. And now the opportunity that I want to share with all of you is NGOs 2.3. What does that mean? So I'll tell a little story of how we got closer to technology in GASTROMOTIVA. GASTROMOTIVA works with food as a change agent. We use food to train youngsters that are in exclusion. We train them to become part of a workforce within the hospitality industry that's growing. We train women from the favelas and poor community, refugees, towards integration, and let them become food entrepreneurs within their own new communities. We work with a double burden of malnutrition, giving access to health for those that don't have. And our latest endeavors, together with some of the world's best chefs, we're fighting food waste, because the issue of food waste is something that technology can actually help a lot. And all of that we do in 4 countries, on the grounds, grassroots activism. However, we started a hackathon in 2017, bringing out the challenge to youngsters to a university to find technology solutions that can accelerate our impact, that can reach the most remote places of Brazil, the most remote places in the world. And it was fascinating. It really blew our minds, because what they came up with were just basically solutions to bring what we do offline, online, and giving access to everyone. All of these solutions brought me to MIT, and I became an MIT Soul finalist. I had to present at the UN General Assembly in front of very mean judges. But it was a good opportunity to see exactly this intersection, to say, okay, now we're facing a new opportunity, because what we've been doing can reach even more people. So MIT then brought me to the World Economic Forum beginning of this year, and I attended all of the sessions that they were presenting, and every second presentation, just like my colleague Tony was sharing before, was talking about the human-centered solutions, because who are we doing these innovations and new tools for? And one phrase that specifically struck me is machines, that is something that we should always remember. Again, who are we doing this for? Because I feel we lose this disconnect. There's a disconnect between advancements and technology, more tools, whereas in the end, it's for us. So let's not lose that connection. So you've heard about GASTROMOTIVA. But we're part of something much bigger, which is called our global food system. And we are facing tremendous challenges. What NGOs and social organizations are trying to do is to resolve these challenges. We've mapped the challenges. There are the social development goals by the UN that we're trying to achieve. But we cannot achieve them if we don't work together. Problems such as food waste that I mentioned. 1/3 to 1/4 of all our food gets wasted. This means that we could actually feed the entire world with the food that we produce. So it's an absurdity. We have a population that's becoming more and more obese, and others that are living in malnourishment every day. We have chronic hunger and unemployment around the world, while there are so many opportunities within the hospitality industry. So this industry is behind. There are many industries that are connected with the tech world and with innovation. However, the World Economic Forum came up with a scary report that said that we are 10 years behind in the food industry. It's scary, but it also offers an opportunity. So our social gastronomy movement that I mentioned is something that emerged from an idea, like many of you that are working in the startup world have. So we saw many initiatives around the world that are just like GASTROMOTIVA, using food as a social change agent. In Cambodia, street kids that are getting education to work, education to start their own businesses. We work with the Kling Foundation that empowers prisoners in the UK for reintegration once they are released. Actually, the reoffending rate went down by 40%. So somebody asked me about the business case behind that. Well, that's quite clear. And it's just about humans and giving a second opportunity. So what did we think? How about we connect everyone and just work together? We're not going to work in silos for the rest of our lives. And that's what we did. The Social Gastronomy Movement is a human-centered movement that tries to work towards collective impact, to create a more inclusive food system following very strong values of the co-creators. It's a movement, so it's being co-created by more than 400 organizations that we've already mapped and connected. We believe that together we can actually change the world. And beyond the entrepreneurs, we obviously work with the government and with the private sector to really make a change. The model that we've come up with is a Glocal model in some way. So we have a model of hubs, local community hubs that bring together local entrepreneurs around food, to debate, to exchange best practices, to connect, to create new solutions. Then we have an online platform that's being created currently by Sivana, an entrepreneur from San Francisco. It's a global platform, just like a digital table. So what we always say, let's build the biggest digital table that there is. Bring everyone, the whole family, to this table. It's a platform that's not just for information sharing, but it's a platform that brings together the best practices, open-sourced methodologies, because every entrepreneur that's part of our network has a methodology that works. So why don't we put it all online, spread it, so anyone can have access to it and implement it in their own communities. And last but not least as well, gatherings, because in the end, it's about that human connection. So like we are all here together to gather, to exchange and connect. That's something that we continue doing through different events as well. So all of that is what we're trying to build now. And obviously, we need to imagine the world where we can really have a hub and any entrepreneur around the world connected to this. We imagine a world where we can really give access to the entrepreneurs that are part of our network, access to technologies, which is why I'm here to share what we do and how all of you can actually help to make it a reality and to scale our impact exponentially. We imagine a world where all of our methodologies are online, where our students can sell their products online, where our students can connect to other students from around the world from the social gastronomy movement. It is not fair to see how big companies have access to the newest innovations, to the best tools, and advance making money. And so my call to action is really today to see how all of you can make a difference, how all of you can bring technology and transform the NGOs towards the NGO 3.0 that I would like to see in the future. We're here to build a longer table, not a higher wall. I think that's something we should be really careful about with the politics, the way that they are going. Technology is powerful, but technology will even be more powerful when shared with everyone. So technology can create an abundance of everything. And how can we tap into this abundance? So by bringing private sector, public sector, and the civil society together, working for a common future, is where I see that our future has hope. So here again, my call for action, that we all get together, that you all choose a specific NGO or a social organization that actually needs help. There's potential for anyone to get involved. So let's build this table together. Let's take everything online. I'll be more than happy to connect anyone to the social organizations that we are part of the Social Gastronomy Movement. And that's it. So let's build the NGO 3.0 all together. Thank you very much.